Peace, family. How y'all doing out there today? I hope you guys are doing well. I want to send you guys good healing energy your way and hope you guys are out there keeping your mind right. I came on here to share another question and answer from Dr. Malachi York's book called The Holy Tabernacle Guide for Better Living, Purity, and Neatness in the Maintenance of Health. This question is, how can we uproot the ego? Now, you're going to need to know this information if you're trying to burn out the ego. And this is a part of that good working on yourself, because it does take time and it does take discipline and it does taking that good working on your inner self as well as on the outside, the external. So let's get it going. Okay, the answer to this question of how can we uproot the ego. Now this is Dr. Malachi York's answer, and so let's go. The ego can be uprooted by subduing it and suppressing it. It must be evident by now that being righteous, being a child of the Elohim, an Elo or an El, meditating, being saved, or being religious entails far more than just making a claim, sitting with your eyes closed, legs crossed, saying I'm God, or lip confessions. It demands rigorous introspection and an overhauling of one's personality, life patterns, and values. Behavior corrections and the uprooting of weaknesses are relatively easy adjustments to make. The petty, obstinate egoism behind the mask of the human personality is one of the biggest hurdles to overcome, for it veils the light within, supports surface thoughts, and penetrating its own habitual feelings and actions. This lower self-arrogant nature must be whittled down, for it persists in retaining its limited false values, and no amount of spiritual practice will bear fruit. Too often, people profess of being righteous, yet they are unwilling to eradicate the lower nature and change the old habits. Clinging to them, they refuse to even to admit the need for change. This type of individual will never make any real progress, for without radical transformation of the lower nature, one goes nowhere. It is not easy to change deeply ingrained habits, and a sincere person who's just attempting to change often feels helpless against them. By regular spiritual practice, untiring, selfless service, association with spiritual minded people, and a strong determination to eradicate egoism, a powerful but selfless will is developed. One must introspect and discover all weaknesses and defects. The transmuting of a lower nature to a higher nature demand full and heartfelt dedication. Sometimes the old personality attempts to reestablish itself, even after years of purifying. Obstinately, self-assertion and self-supportive by the lower mind and will. It can make aspirant incorrigible, unruly, arrogant, and impertinent. Identifying with the ego, he or she breaks all rules and disciplines, revolts against all things, and always ever ready to fight with those who are unwilling to respect his or her views and opinions, wailing in self-justification, and denying faults and defects. The person may be unaware of the effects of his or her actions, for the intellect has been enclouded by impurities, not knowing what he or she means and not meaning what he or she says. He or she is too self-willed and self-satisfied to see the errors of his or her ways. One who is not straightforward and cannot keep discipline or open his or her heart to others cannot be helped by any teacher. Nothing can help one who deliberately shuts his or her eyes against the truth. Such a person, instead of making progress along life's path, remains stuck in the mirror of his or her own creations. If there is any recognition that something is wrong, the slightest amount to improve, or even the slightest repetitive attitude, then the errors can be corrected. One who is frank with his or her teacher and him or her begins to realize the nature and the source of his or her defects, he or she is soon on the path to improving his or her life. One must begin by building a strong community foundation, as those who walked the Sirat al-Mustaqim, the narrow path, as the ones who did before you. In the following, the experience of past events, you can see what does not work. Let me repeat that. In the following, the experience of past events, you can see what does not work. Eternal struggle is the price of survival. Winners of such struggles are those who organize and work together, who have a plan, who practice teamwork, as we unfold our creed and program, we endeavor to flourish the human race with all of these essentials and more. El Quran's 13:1-3. And El Asr, the time when the squeezing of the enocyte soul will be squeezed from his body. Surely this is the age when the Sana enocytes are overcome by defeat, and the Karsor, except for those who are faithful and Amil, work to Salahat, the perfection of their beings, and are advocates of the Haqqa, the facts, and patience, and the endurance of Al-Sabr. So I just thought that I share this clip because I know this will help someone else, and especially when you're on the right path, trying to work on, burning out that ego. This definitely will help knowing this information. So I just thought that I'd share and let y'all know it's all love, family, and peace.